Yeah, it's interesting. So you mentioned creators, and something that's really important and nuanced to mention here is creators are not just people who are like the creative creators. It's not just artists or photographers or video creators or game developers. Anybody can be a creator in the future. Let's say I create an agent to book restaurants in New York City where I live. Or let's say I create an agent to track the weather patterns in Salt Lake City when I'm skiing where you live. Those are still my forms of IP that I've created and developed, and I should be paid accordingly when anybody actually uses those or pays for those services. So the big thing to realize here is anybody can be a creator. Being a creator is no longer limited to just a musician or an artist overall. And that's something that we think is super important, especially as it relates to if I'm the creator of an agent, I should be comped for that for the usage of that agent overall. On the second side of things, on the buyer side, the buyer demand is pretty unlimited. We spend a lot of time with like the big Silicon Valley AI companies on pretty much every side of the model, whether it's general purpose, whether it's industry specific, or whether it's modal specific. And people are kind of spooked about the big lawsuit and settlement that GPT had with Reddit, and so there's a massive demand of people basically looking to buy what I call training data or training IP in the most verified and legal way possible, where there's no long-term legal ramifications of it. So what do I mean by that? You see, Silicon Valley is going through a very interesting shift. There's sort of three different armies in the AI world. There's the model layer, which is clearly commoditized by DeepSeek R1. It's very expensive and whatnot. And so, there's a pretty big barrier to entry. Then you have compute. NVIDIA obviously is like bigger than the entire market cap of crypto until this recent bull run. But, decentralized compute is very difficult. And then the third, and where you can really distinguish the quality of your agents, is the IP on which it's trained. And that's where we think we can really come into play. What distinguishes one model from another? The training IP. And when you can do that on verified IP as opposed to having to do that on synthetic data, that makes it that much better of a model overall. And so that's why we think the buyer demand is absolutely massive.